So yesterday marked the 25th anniversary of another movie that came out in 1999, and although this isn't a movie that a lot of people remember from that year, it was one of Jake Gyllenhaal's first films. I'm referring to October Sky. When people think of movies that came out in the year 1999, they're probably thinking of movies like Deep Blue Sea, The Sixth Sense, Star Wars Episode 1, let's see, The Matrix is another good one. And also The Mummy is another good one too. So a lot of good movies that people remember, probably from the year 1999, and a lot more also came out that year. But October Sky is not one of those movies that was really meant to be remembered. Honestly, after watching it though, the first time I ever watched it was back in high school. I really wish it was. This probably has to be one of the most underrated movies I've ever seen. This movie is actually based off a true story. It tells the story of NASA scientist Homer Hickman, who Jake Gyllenhaal plays, by the way, since I told you he is the main character. And it tells his story about how, when he was a teenager, how he was inspired to become interested in the field of rocketry and aerospace engineering after he sees Sputnik fly over his hometown, Coalwood, West Virginia, in the year 1957. This is a movie that really pulls on your heartstrings a good bit. Even though some of the film is pretty obvious when it comes to a story like this, it does have its own taste of entertainment as well, as Homer Hickman has his failures. But what I find most incredible about this movie and story is that the town that they live in is basically a mining town, and almost no one there has any ambitions of trying to do anything with their life other than mining coal. But Homer Hickman truly does believe that with hard work, and if he puts his mind to it, that he truly can make a life out of himself with rocketry, even though he is constantly torn down, especially by his father, who is played by Chris Cooper. He continues to find a way to inspire himself to keep following his dream. At first, the only person who believes in Homer was his teacher, Miss Riley, who is played by renowned actress Laura Dern. And when she finds out that these guys, Homer and his friends, are trying to do everything they can to, learn about rockets, she offers her help here and there. And I will say, as they're learning to build these rockets, it is funny to watch a lot of them blow up in their faces. You do get some comedy and laughs out of that, but also it compels you to root them on, like you want them to succeed. It's like you become drawn into this story. Like, seeing them succeed, you actually feel like it gives you goosebumps. Even though like I said, the story is obvious. You know they're going to succeed at some point. But yet, it still gives you goosebumps and you want to see it happen more than anything. Probably my favorite scene in this movie was, although it is very depressing, it's like such a powerful scene when it comes to the emotion that you see in it. It's when when he starts working in the mines, he gets into the elevator and looks up, and then that's when he sees Sputnik flying across the sky. And I mean, the imagery and symbolism is so incredible. It's like either you're gonna go up or you're gonna go down. And of course he's going down because he's going down into the mines at that time, but the symbolic nature of that scene, it really gives you goosebumps, and it really pulls on your heartstrings really hard. As well as the imagery, the way you see it, it's just, wow. It's just such a powerful scene. Now, I don't want to go too in-depth with this movie because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who possibly sees this video and actually decides to watch it. But I will like to say this about Jake Gyllenhaal. When this movie came out, this was like very early in his career. I mean, he hadn't even made Bubble Boy yet. Now, I don't think this is like the movie that gave him international recognition. It didn't make him like superstardom. But I would say that this was probably a movie where people really got to see the depth of how well his acting was. And it really did put him on the map in a sense. Because after that, he did start making a lot of great movies that I can think of that came out after this movie. So, I mean, October Sky, everybody. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a movie I would highly recommend. It just reached its 25th anniversary. It's a really good movie, and if you're a Jake Gyllenhaal fan, I think you'll like this movie as well. If you're into engineering, I think you'll like this movie. So definitely, I think it's a movie you guys should check out.